Hi, it's Sandy Parker, and welcome to Crafting for Almost Everyone. We're back to our art journal today. It should be lots of fun. We're going to do some mixed media. I hope you'll stay tuned. So if you've never seen my art journal, it's a little kid's book, and I'm on page, I guess, 5 of it. And I'll link the other videos that I've done below or above or somewhere up in here or at the end somewhere. I have my own homemade gesso that is 1/4 cup of plaster of Paris, 1/4 cup of water, a 1/2 cup of white paint, and a 1/4 cup of glue. And I think it works pretty well. I mean, it's not like professional grade, but it does a nice job of covering up the boo-boos that I need to cover up. And it makes surfaces like this is very shiny, and it's tough to get the shiny surfaces to be able to do mixed media on. They just don't like to play, is all I'm saying. And if it's mixed well, my gesso, if it's mixed well, it does do a nice job of covering up even the black words, as you can see. And this is just one layer. And I'm going to be stamping a big butterfly stamp and using that as my background. I'm going to just do this side a little bit just so we can kind of get this side going. And I put a piece of cardboard in between the pages because they'll stick together if you don't. Like this one's already stuck from before. I do try and make sure I put something between them, but as in all things, this seems to happen to me. So we're just going to put a little bit of our gesso on this side so that we can kind of cover up our rabbits that I didn't really want. I don't know about you, but I'm not a big fan. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to let it sit until it's dry. But before I do that, before it's dried and permanently adhered, I want to show you something that I like to do because it makes the process so much easier. And that is, hold on, I'm going to grab some tissue paper, and I'll be right back. So here's my plan. My board is my book is almost dry. I know it's kind of off screen, but I have this Gina K amalgam ink in black, and it's a new ink pad, so it should be super juicy. And this is an old Stampin' Up stamp called a swallowtail. I'll show you the box in a second, so in case you're interested in it. You know you can always find Stampin' Up stamps that are retired on eBay, always. And this is what it looks like. Good glare. There you go. That's what it looks like. And my plan is to use a piece of, this is handmade paper that I bought at AC Moore, and it looks a lot like mulberry paper because it's got things ingrained into it like paper strips. I don't know what else I could say that's ingrained into it, but my paper is getting a little bit wrinkled from being in my drawer for too long, so I figured, hey, let's use it. And I'm just gonna hold it down with one hand and rub with the other. You should be able to see your pattern coming through. Hopefully I didn't smear it. But if I did, I guess we'll worry about that later, right? Ooh, aren't you just loving it? Well, I was going to put it on this side. Now I guess I'm going to put it on that side. I found this school glue gel. I'm just going to squeeze some of this out. Since it's a gel, it's not going to come flying out like real glue will. This way, once we have this glue all in place, we'll be able to attach our page to it, and hopefully it'll stay attached. Then we're going to put our little butterfly. See how my butterfly did a fine job of staying on, but my bees did not. Darn those bees. So it's kind of cool though, because I have partial bees that are staying. So what I decided I was going to do after I played around, I cut out some flowers out of one napkin, and it's just the top part of a napkin, and I thought I would show you on a napkin that's kind of wrinkled. Here's what you do. Here's a full napkin. You're going to put a piece of washi tape, just any cheap washi tape, and you're going to stick it anywhere on the edge, but I like to put it kind of down near the bottom. And then what you do is you just do this, and it pulls right off. Easy as that. Ta-da! So that's how you do it, and then you can use this extra piece for whatever. So then what I wanted to do is I wanted to rip these papers. I'm going to glue them on in pieces. And when you have mulberry paper, it's hard to cut. So we're going to, no, it's hard to rip, not cut. Well, it's probably hard to do both. So what I'm going to do, I just have water on this brush, and it looks like it also has some purple on it, so we'll just ignore that purple edge. But anyway, you just get it wet, and then it tears like that. I've got these cool purple edges now. You just keep wetting where you want to rip, and then it gives you these cool lines. So we're just gonna keep ripping so we have some fun. I'm going to do the same with this paper. Get my, there we go. This time I'm just going to do big pieces of it so that I can rip it a lot at a time. And that ought to do it. Okay, so let's rip to there, and then we've got that piece ripped off. And then we've got this piece ripped off. And then we can rip through the center of this. Like I said, when you're doing mulberry paper, anything with mulberry paper, it's hard to get a good clean edge, so you might as well have a fuzzy edge like mine, and then it makes it that much more interesting to look at. Okay, so back to our gel glue. I kind of dig this glue though, honestly. It's really fun to play with. I don't know really what it's intended for. Maybe it's supposed to make slime. I don't know. I like it though. It's fun. Get our heat tool out. Let me cut all that off, and then I'll come back, because you don't want to see me cut for an hour. Do you? No? Okay. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to use these brush markers by Tan Mitt. I got 60 colors of them. I think they were under $20. I'm not sure, but I'm making that up. And they're brush markers, so they will work really well on something like this. And I'm trying to take the piece off that I need. I'm going to be coloring certain sections in different colors, and then after I do that, you're going to have to be careful because this paper will tear, so you want to be as gentle as you can when you're going over it with this brush. You don't want to, go nuts with it. Then you're also going to want to make sure it's completely dry before you go after it with your stickles, because you don't want those to have an issue. Again, don't forget, don't leave lines in there, because you might see those through your stickles. Alright, we're going to let our left side dry, and I'm going to see if we can get our right side. If our right side is, it's pretty tacky. I don't know if I'll be able to do this or not yet. You can see that I'm putting wet glue on my napkin, just on the petals right now, on the ends of the petals, so I can hopefully get it to glue down. I have a couple more of these small ones. Maybe I'll do one big one and two small ones. What do you think? Go with it? We're going with it. Some more of that glue. Putting some wet glue on the tips of our petals. And one more. I could use my brayer, but this is still really sticky, and I'm afraid if I did that my brayer would get permanently attached to it and rip the flower petals right off of there. Hoping when this dries that the colors, that it'll hide the problems I have with the glue. But so that's where we stand right now. Don't worry about the hot mess on the butterfly side. We're going to fix that with stickles, I'm pretty sure, and everything else should be good. We'll wait and see. So I let this all dry, but after I dried it, the dark blue came through on that flower, and it did on this flower too, but I had a second one of these. I didn't have a second one of the littler ones. That's a bummer, so I'm going to have to improvise. So I took a napkin that looks like this, and I think I got it at the store called At Home. I might be making that up. Can you see it? Hold on, let me set it so you can. It looks like this, and I cut out some of the flowers and one of the peacocks. Now what I didn't do is I didn't take the white backing off of these, and I'll tell you why. Because I thought they might have the problem where the ink, or the underneath ink from one of these is going to come through. So here's my plan. My plan is I'm using a really old Memories Forever scrapbooking glue stick, because the really wet glue seemed to be problematic, and I'm not going to put it on this. I'm going to put it on my book. Ooh, that was like way more glue than I needed. I'm going to have to slide that around and see if I can. Jeepers creepers, this is a mess. We'll just ignore the mess, right? That's what we always do. Oh, I was going to bring my hot mess stage picture over for you guys to laugh at. I'm going to have to remember to do that. I'm going to hide as much of this underneath as I can. Let's see, maybe this glue stick is better. Let's try it. Trying to make sure. Yeah, this one doesn't seem to come off in as big of gobs as that one did. This time I'm just going to put my glue onto the white piece beneath and hope it works. I'm just going to lay it. I'm going to try this right edge. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing. That's not too terrible. Ooh, my peacock is trying to jump on. I have to put my peacock somewhere. I'm going to put my peacock right like that. And the white underneath almost acts like an outline. I don't know if you can see that part, but it's kind of cool looking. I like these little flowers. I think what I'm going to do is cut out one more of these and put it in this section, and maybe another one over in here. Let me do that and I'll be right back. So first thing we're going to do, I have more pieces I cut out underneath here. And this time I didn't cut the white underneath because a lot of it has white underneath, if that makes sense. See how it's going into the flower now? Oh, I'm so happy. And oh, look how lucky that is. That wrapped completely around my glue stick. Whew, these things are so happy when they happen to me. Okay, so then do I want to put, I'm going to put one on the edge here and just go up the side with it. While I'm doing that, I think the next thing I want to do is play with this. Okay, so I glued some of my paper on, and then I'm going to put a little bit more glue in and around the places that doesn't have anything on it. So let's try this section first. I'm going to go right there. Okay, I'm going to have to re-stamp my bees on here, flies, whatever they are. I think they're bees, because I covered them up. The camera cut out, didn't know it, and I covered this all with my leftover napkin. So my goal now is to put a few bees here and there, just to see, oh, there comes that, just to see if we can get bees going everywhere. And my bees are kind of, put one right there. Okay. All right. I think that's all the bees I need to do. I'll use my Sharpie to clean him up and make sure you can really see him well, because on the other ones you can, you know, the body is better defined. So why not make this one better so you can see it, right? Okay, then back to my markers. TANMIT, 60 colors. I'll put a link below. I think I got them at Amazon, but I could be wrong. And I just want to get my bee so that it has, or whatever this is. I think it's a bee. I want to just make sure my colors are good on it. That looks good enough. Then I gotta put some black marker think I'm just going to put like a little bit of black marker in the center here. Then, oh, I know I'm in the hot mess phase. I want to show you that. I promised I would show you my hot mess phase present. I'm going to get that for you right now because I don't want to forget. Okay, here it is, the hot mess phase. Can you see the red flames on it? She made that for me for Christmas. It's hysterical, isn't it? You're supposed to hang it up, I guess. I love it. I'll put it up closer so you can really get a good gander of it. I told her I wanted to put something on the screen whenever I'm at this phase, and so I'm here, I think, on the butterfly side. So that's what we're going to put there. Thought you'd get a laugh out of that. And if you want to make me feel better about my art, you don't have to worry. It's not that I feel bad about what I create, and it's not at all that I'm worried that all of you are going to hate it. It's that I think that my projects hit a certain phase where they're a little bit iffy, and when they are, I prefer to call it a hot mess phase. So that's where we stand in my mind with this one. Just throwing that out to you. So what I'm going to do to rectify my hot mess phase is I think I should start in the center and move my way outward. And I'm going to use stickles because you can see through stickles when you're playing with them, hopefully. Say I like the bees so far anyway. I mean, they might turn out looking really horrific, but once this thing dries, I don't think it's going to be bad. Oh, and I have one other thing I want to glue on here. Let me get all these closed and I'll be right back. I had this word happiness that was on a piece of cardstock, and I decided I would cut it out, and I did that, but then I decided it didn't match my book as much as I wanted it to. So what I'm doing is I'm just gonna color all around the letters with one of my Touch 5 alcohol markers. It's a permanent marker, and it'll make sure that my that the colors are vibrant and stay there. You know, they don't come off with water or anything. It's not a water-based medium. so it doesn't come off, which is good. Then I think I'm going to use a glue stick. Could be kiss of death, but we're going to give it a shot anyway because it could rip it. And I don't really want to rip it, but at least this purple will let me know exactly where the glue stick is. Okay. Now, because I think it's fun and it might be a mistake, but I'm going to try it anyway. I'm going to see if my white gel pen I don't think it's as bad as it could be. I don't know what you think, but I think I did okay for, you know, what I normally do on things like that. So now all I need to do is redo my bee, and I'll be all set. So I know you don't need to watch that, and I'll be back. So in the end, this is what my album, well, my art journal looks like, and I really was happy with how this turned out. This is my, I think, 5th and 6th pages. Yeah, I did the cover, and then I did these two, my hot mess phase, obviously that one was horrible, then the fall one, and then these two. I know people think I've probably forgotten the journal, but I haven't. But you know, until a mood hits me for me to play with it, I just, you know, let it sit here. So what I did today, which was stupid, I thought I would cut out a page because I was having trouble keeping it closed. And so I did cut out a page, but now it wants to fall apart and the pages are iffy. So in the end, I'm probably going to have to do something where I put a closure on it, a ribbon, something. So I do hope that you enjoyed this, that you give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Please tell your friends about me on social media because you know I love that. And thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.